This is
More
green.
power.
Like that's actually the company, Big Truck Rental?
Yeah.
I thought you were just dumbing things down.
No, that's the actual name. I think they're dumbing it down, but.
Big Truck Rental.
Alderman Marticello is not gonna be here tonight, I'm sure you're gonna just announce that. So,
This is, we already know this.
we in a hall, take care of it,
You ready, Phil? I'm gonna just, do I have to call this order? Call to order. Common Council, meeting November 21st. So we're gonna review the agenda. We have new business, 2 consents. We can do the consents first.
Sure.
Okay, 2324, resolution appointing Daniel Domkowski to the Amsterdam IDA Agency Board of Directors.
All right, I had sent the council a email on these people, and I didn't get any feedback other than from Alderman Marticello, who was in favor of it, so I decided to put these up for consent, and hopefully you'll approve them. They are shorthanded.
I think they're two good choices. I apologize for not reading back. I just read it and I said, oh, good.
Good.
And I'd already talked to Dan about it as well, and he's really excited
Yes.
to join it. I know he had a meeting with you. Great.
Yeah,
I'll
no,
call him young member of the community, because,
Yes.
you know, he's my age.
yes.
So we'll call that young
You
still.
can call that, young.
And, yeah, I'm really excited about that. And of course, Mr. Dyserson, a great businessman and
Yeah,
community
I think
member.
we've got two good people here.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, so Mr. Dyerson is resolution 2324-101. So we're all in favor of that?
okay.
Good to me.
Yes? Okay. Resolution approving the minutes, 2324-90. Okay.
Yep.
Resolution 2324-91. This is transferring funds for 2023 golf cart repair costs. $7,000 from contingency to equipment repair on the golf.
So this is just for repair? This is not
Yes,
for any
it's
new
not for
ones?
what you were talking about.
Okay,
So we're.
great.
Okay. Any other questions on that?
Any questions? Dave, you okay?
Yeah.
2324-92, resolution authorizing contract wastewater treatment plant with Auto Contracting. This is for.
Gotta do
The
contracting.
city is currently contracted with Montgomery County to accept, treat landfill leachate at a rate of 4 cents per gallon, as well as Gotta Do Contracting LLC for leachate from Bourne landfill in Massachusetts. Any questions?
Is this the same, Michael?
This is a third source. It's I'm here. We're contracted with Gotta Do now, but it's coming from a different landfill. The contract's essentially the same, the price is the same. But I thought it would be prudent to put it out there and because it's coming from a separate source. And
So this is gonna be additional revenues?
it's additional revenue.
And what are we looking at in terms of capacity or
It's
volume?
about 2 deliveries a day, 7,000 gallons each. And the one from Bourne actually has slowed down quite a bit. So we looked over their analysis from the lab and everything, and it actually seems a little bit weaker, so the plant can definitely handle it.
Okay,
We're just, extra thing for now, so.
very good.
Okay. Resolution 2324-93, authorize the budget transfer sanitation big truck rental.
There needs to be an amendment on this one. After I published it, I got an email that increased expense should be CL, not A.
Okay.
Yes, where
Under increased expense,
increase.
Contractual
It says
expense.
A.
Yes.
It should be
CL.
CL. So is that a typo or?
And I'll make a motion to amend, please.
Okay,
Okay,
I can do that. Yeah, and this is just, we need to rent, when is our garbage truck broken?
Oh, yes, well, actually, two are. One is, the one that this is replacing on a temporary basis right now, we believe has a long motor.
Oh, gosh.
The other one had structural needs. We've got the way our sanitation collection goes on any given week, we need 3 trucks to, be able to handle the pickups and the recycling and the bulk pickups and being down to 2, it makes it very difficult to accomplish that. So we're hoping to get it fixed. We actually did have a discussion during the budget period or development before this current year about, wanting to buy a new, garbage packer truck. We have not done that yet. It's a process, through state contract, and I believe we can't even make that move until after the first of this year. We've got in the meantime, we're gonna examine other options. It's very difficult to buy a garbage truck these days. There's not a car lot that's filled with shiny new garbage trucks. Everything is built to order today, unfortunately. It's not like the old days where you could order one and they'd show up 2 weeks later. So
So currently we're renting from,
currently, we're renting this for 30 days, and we're hopeful that we can have the other one back in service for however long it's got left in it, until we replace it.
what does it cost to rent it?
It's a
Total for a month,
$11,200.
$11,000.
A month. We moved enough to cover 2 months just in case,
Oh,
but
gosh.
it hopefully
and we
won't
did,
cost as much.
we did reach out to Schenectady, and they do have a spare truck that they would be willing to rent to us. We did not, they answered the day after we had to get one, so we made a commitment for this one. But we are gonna check with Schenectady to see what their terms would be, because as Mike said, the chances are pretty good that we're gonna need additional help in the future.
Maybe they'll sell it to us.
Okay, resolution 2224-94, authorizing the sale of the Riverlink Park tent.
Yes. Kelly, you had some questions on that?
I have lots of questions. You know, it says it's identified as property that's no longer used or needed. I feel that it could be utilized even if, I'm assuming that is because of Drifters doesn't do catering.
No, well, last year she did, and we've only had 6 events there in 4 years. And it's not conducive to, convenience for large crowds to get down there for a catered event. There's no parking, situation, et cetera. They just haven't had a successful, business model using that tent in the last, 4 to 5 years. So, and the tent itself is in need of major repair. We spend about $4,100 a year to put it up, take it down, clean it, and store it.
In like staff hours is what you mean?
No, not us. We don't do that. We hire somebody to come in and do that for us. It's the same company that wants to buy this tent. And they'll buy it and they will either, cut it down and make it 6 tents, or they'll fix it and try and re-rent it. But it's in tough shape and needs to be repaired, and that cost isn't even in there. So it hasn't been a successful venue for catering. We don't see it changing that much. And the cost of maintaining the tent is, it's costing us more than any revenue we've generated over the last 4 or 5 years. So.
I mean, could it have been put on that auction list? Like, was it offered to other
Well, we did.
places?
We offered it. We offered it for sale to a couple of people. We did not put it on the auction list. The deal was that these people would be willing to take it down, and store it. We wouldn't pay them anymore. They basically, if we tried to auction it off, we'd still have to take it down because the weather's changing. We'd still have to pay them. But based on the condition of the tent, it really isn't, we're not gonna get much more money than this. We did offer it for sale to drifters, because they needed something to cover their roof and they weren't willing to pay what this guy was willing to pay. But we did not auction it. We could try to do so, but then we would have to pay this guy. This firm, we'd have to pay them for the takedown and storage fee. So whatever we got would have to be, that would have to cover that, you know, so really, the answer to the question is we didn't try to auction it. We don't think it would get that much, we don't think we would get that big of a bid on it because of the condition of it. And because this guy's the vendor who handles it, he's got like an inside, you know, he's got an inside advantage, because he's gonna charge us, he's gonna charge us for taking it down, which he already did, he's gonna charge us for storing it. Or else he's gonna let those charges go away plus pay us $2,500. So it's a quandary. I didn't have an easier answer or a better answer.
Well, I mean, what's a quandary to me is just that there's just not more information, and this is not coming from you, but that, like, to you directly, but just that, like, this is something that, like, you know, I would wanna make sure that the Riverfront Foundation had been, like, clued in on, and that we'd been talked to about it, and it just comes, like, into an agenda. And, you know, I did email the director about it, and I got a response today that I could have called him to get information, but that's not public record to me. You know, this is a $40,000 tent. Cause I remember when they tried to move it to the golf course. And everyone flipped out about that too. You know, so this is expensive, right? It was a grant, and has been used. And so, like, it's just a decision that I think a lot of people should know about before it just up and disappears. And, you know, it can look like this is just being given to some rental company, you know, and not put out publicly, not bid on, you know, not follow procedures. So I just feel like more information on these types of things, and I'm just frustrated.
Would you like to table it? We can table it and get more information.
I mean, the answer's gonna be the same. I mean, I don't
Well, again,
expect
if you want
that
us to
he'll
try,
have more information
if
than
you want us to
that.
try and auction it, we certainly could do that. I don't know what it's gonna do to the charge for,
No, yeah, there's that cost and
But
time
again,
costs, and like, it makes sense when you tell me, like, yeah, we have to pay to get it taken down and pay to store, and they'll waive those fees, because that's actually, to me, now we're getting it for like 60, you know, we're getting $6,600 out of it in the long run. Like, that makes sense. But when we just throw things on like this, this is where we get
No,
in
it wasn't-
trouble with public perception.
Yeah.
Is that we're just giving away a $40,000 tent, is what it looks like, without that type of explanation. And it just shouldn't have to, it's not really your job to explain it.
I just wanna make it clear that it's not worth anywhere near $40,000 any longer because of the condition it's in. That's what
Oh, I
happens to
understand.
tents.
But you have to, yeah.
So we would have to buy, if we really wanted to try and create a venue down there, we'd probably have to buy a new tent in a year.
Mhm. Yeah. that
Which would be another
expensive.
$40,000. So it wasn't like an easy, that's what I say, when it was a quandary, you're looking at all those things. But the bottom line is they did not, for the last 3 vendors who've had that place, including Dan Nelly, they did not generate a catering business down there that utilized that tent anywhere near what they would have to subsidize the cost of what we pay for. And, you know, we get a percentage of all those things, and we weren't getting anything. So it's just that it's a tough call. But I would be happy if you want to try and, you know, to auction it off to see if there could be I just don't think we're gonna get anything for it. And
No,
I'm
but if
saying
we-
that
if-
based upon the knowledge of what I've been talking about for the last month.
If
But
we
I just
were-
would like to just be included on those things before they come before us, and
Correct.
is what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's all, I'll vote for it.
David, you have any questions?
No.
Okay.
Leave it
20.
alone.
2324-95. Resolution waiving vacant building fees due pursuant to Amsterdam City Code Charter.
Yeah, and I will address these if the council has questions, or if they don't have questions. These are, you know, we do have a vacant property, building fee system put in place. And it's got some gray areas in it. And one of the gray areas is that a property can be vacant, but if it doesn't look vacant from the outside, it looks, and it's well kept, it's clean, people mow the lawn, they've got the outside looking like it is occupied. And they have a plan for the property to put it back on the market, to renovate it and live there, et cetera. It's a tough call sometimes. And so these were, two of these are based on that. And then the 139, 145 Market Street was, you remember there were two buildings there that what's the name of the company, Dan? That knocked those buildings down?
The owner of the lots?
Garcia Management?
Yeah. So they spent, how much did they, it was $100-something thousand to knock those two buildings down?
I mean, that was compliance we're looking for.
Yeah.
There were two eyesores,
Right,
dilapidated,
and
unsafe buildings.
And so
They
to
did-
charge them a fee, a vacant property fee on that didn't make sense. So they got the bill in the mail because we have this system which says they should get a bill in the mail. So that's gotta be cleaned up as well. So that's what these things are. These are exemptions, based upon common sense that are. Any questions on that?
I have a problem waiving fees of this type. We have a couple of resolutions that, I mean, if we waive fees, we're gonna set a precedent.
Right,
And then we're gonna have other people come back
We
and say,
have-
well, I had this going on, why? And
but these are
getting waived.
fees that are being waived because we had code inspectors say, yes, they're right, versus arguments with people who aren't right. So there's a fine line. Well, you know, we look at these situations and say, he's right, he's not right. There's gonna be a fee, there's not gonna be a fee. We will bring it in front of the council to see if they will waive it if we think they're right. We will not bring it in front of the council if we don't think they're right. So there is a judgment process. And we do, that's what I talked a little bit with Tony about, we do wanna try and clean up the language to make it less of a judgment call. But these were instances, all of these instances were code inspector inspected. I mean, they looked at it and said, yeah, you know, the building looks great, or, you know, the building does not look empty, they have complied, they do have a plan, et cetera. And so that's the difference, Irene, that's the only thing I can tell you.
The problem with the system is that if they responded to the initial notification and filed $100 and filled out the application of what their plan was to do with the building, then they wouldn't have been in the situation they wound up in.
That's true too.
They didn't actually do that in the beginning, and then they just came to us at the end of it.
So we're talking about the two resolutions one for Market Street. They're both for Market Street, 139, 145 Market.
Those are the demolitions.
And the other resolution is 2324-96 for 137 Market Street. Now, both of these properties were demolished.
Yes,
Yeah, so.
that one is, in my opinion, clear cut. The situation has been remedied by the buildings being demolished. Which was way more than any vacant property fees would have been able to recoup.
But they own these properties.
Correct.
So do we have a plan moving forward to start to evaluate this, or even like
Yes.
put in something that, like an in-house appeal process? Cause I think if this is like the code inspectors and, you know, the
What Tony
chief.
said is very true.
Yeah.
You know, we have to be consistent and we aren't being consistent, in all respects. But yes, and I wanna clean up some language in the.
Yeah, cause I'd even like
ordinances.
love to see something like the appeal process, like the assessor has, you know, you have that day where people can come in and talk about their assessment, or they can come in, we can have a day where they talk about their vacant fee or the fees what's that other fee that people don't wanna pay?
Well, the
and we
thing
can
is
look
that
at
they did-
those.
the
Yeah,
first notice, they did come
they
in.
did, yeah,
They did come in and they did talk about the first notice, and we didn't waive the fee for the $100.
okay,
And they thought we were still studying that, and they didn't get a ruling on it, and then they got a bill for $1,500, and they said, well, I thought we were gonna get, it's that kind of a
Yeah,
thing. And
exactly.
we really gotta clear that
we
up.
can clear that. Yeah, I mean, I'm supportive of that if we have a good plan.
I don't have a plan yet, but we're gonna
Well,
pursue it and get.
Well, yeah, we have a plan to review it. Like,
Right.
we have an idea, like, we're gonna do this in January or February and really get this cleaned up.
It's after 6. Are we supposed to call the meeting to order at 6?
It's a nice discussion.
You can keep proceeding with the cow.
Okay, you can proceed with the cow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, that's fine. But yeah, as long as this is something that we.
Okay,
So like you mentioned
Yeah.
about having a one-day thing,
Mhm.
which would be ideal, but these people aren't responding to us at all.
Right.
A lot of things we do in the city too is we send out bills, we send out a bill one time. So we might need to look into that, of a reminder letter about, hey, you never responded to this thing we sent you 3 months ago.
Mhm.
What's going on with it?
and I believe this is the bill that we send out from my office, right?
Yes.
I mean, this is all done by Michelle
Right.
Jackson, you know? So
I
it's-
know, that's frustrating. I get
Well,
those
it was a
calls
new system.
all the time in my
It's a
real
new
job.
system, it's in place, there are gonna be hiccups, it's been in place for 2 years now, but it's starting to work. I mean, we're getting people to pay attention to the fact that they can't leave properties vacant and unattended, they have to have plans in place. So it's working, and there are gonna be hiccups, but in general, we're getting responses.
I mean, the Market Street resolutions alone are proof that it does work,
Yeah.
because we had 2 separate buildings that were demolished that were well in excess of about $100,000 for them.
Mhm.
If we didn't,
Right.
I'm fine with those.
So even if the lot stays vacant for years, it's been a huge improvement.
Correct.
But they're very invested in,
They are.
not,
It's being advertised.
they'd like to make some money, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, they put a big
They're
investment in
trying,
it, yeah.
they're trying.
Resolution 2324-97, 2324-98. Those two are both vacant building fees.
Right,
The first one is 256 Guy Park Avenue.
right.
They want us to waive the vacant fees for $1,590.
Right.
You're knocking that building down?
No, not this one.
Okay.
I'm not going to vote for this.
Okay,
This is
I
for the
mean,
Guy
that's your
Park
right.
one or the
that's your
the
right.
Brookside one?
Both,
Okay,
because I've spoken to other people that have similar situations and they were denied. So I can't. We're setting precedents. I can't do it.
okay, I mean, I'm not gonna,
I'm just saying.
okay. Any other questions about those two resolutions?
Any questions?
Okay, and,
All right. Resolution 2324-99, approving the audit. The audit is fine.
Before we
Okay.
start the meeting, just let me, since we're talking about the prospect of there being a no vote, we have 5 aldermen, 1 seat is vacant, we have an absent person, an absent alderman. We still need a vote of 3 yeas to carry any resolution. So if there is a vote on a resolution with a no tonight, that resolution will fail. Okay?
mhm,
As an alternative, and I'm not telling anyone how to vote, I'm just presenting an alternative, that given that we are missing a member tonight, if it's going to be a 1 no vote leading to a resolution failing, you might want to consider an alternative of tabling a resolution, so that you have a full membership here to consider. Either of those alternatives are at your disposal as you choose. Thank you.
One question,
Yes.
Chris Carpenter. Do we have to wait till the first of the year? for
Yes.
this to vote?
yes.
Yes,
And the same with this Holloway, that's the, really?
correct.
Okay, so we'll call the meeting to order and,
Sorry, action.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alderman Quist Morris,
I'm here, I'm sorry, I must took out the engineer.
Alderman Deacon Moore,
Here,
Alderwoman Collins,
Here.
Alderman Marticello.
Okay, motion to adopt the agenda
With 2 consents?
with 2 consents.
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
Alderwoman Christopher,
Aye.
Alderman D. Gamula,
Aye.
and Alderwoman Collins.
No proclamations, correct? I do want to share some good news today in this portion of the agenda for communications and presentations. We did hear from New York State today on our consolidated funding CFA loans, CFA grants. And I'm pleased to report that we got $1 million grant for the community center. The $1 million will permit us, with the existing money we already have for that project, that will permit us to complete that project, which means we will be able to demolish the old Johnny's Seafood building and construct a new community center on that property with the money we have in hand. So there's no more gap funding necessary. We've got that DRI project done. The other very exciting news is that we received a $2.5 million grant for the boardwalk project. That boardwalk project, we already had 1.1 million, closer to 1.2. With this grant that we've heard of news today, we will be able to break ground on the boardwalk in the spring and complete that project as well. So those are two keystone projects of our DRI, which today we found out will now be fully funded and we can move ahead and move forward with this. So that was great news. You know, I put a little post up on Facebook today, but, you know, I do want to thank our community and economic development team. They put together the grant application, got it submitted. The $2.5 million grant for the boardwalk was the largest grant awarded by the state of New York for, you know, but from in the CDBG round. And the $1 million grant was the second largest awarded in that category. So they weren't easy grants to say yes to, but we got yeses on both of them. So thank you to the CED group for putting that together. And also, we might as well tell them tomorrow, right? We're going to have the paperwork in place to proceed with the demolition of Five Corners. Tony Agresta, Tony Casali, thank you very much for the work you put forward on that, but we'll be in good shape to do that. So we got a bing, bang, boom today, and we're ready to roll on 3 massive projects, and it's great news for our city. So I thought we'd start with that, and we would go right on to public participation. So if you'll approach the dais, state your name and address. You have 5 minutes to tell us what you would like to say tonight.
Ed Mary, 94 Union Street, Amsterdam, New York. Excuse me. First of all, I'd like to request sand barrels be put out at all city parking lots. Last year, I requested it and they were put out at City Hall.
Could you say that again, Ed? I missed what you said.
Sand barrels.
Sand barrels.
Sand barrels, okay.
Be put out at all city parking lots. Last year, they were put out at City Hall and the library only. The year before, they were put out everywhere. Also, garbage is in construction debris is still on the corner of McDonald and Union, and it's growing. I don't know how much longer it's gonna keep growing because snow's gonna cover it and they think it's gonna be hidden. Also, I duly request that someone put I don't know what you're requesting, to make Brant Place one side parking because of the school buses. I would appreciate if the west side of the street be parking only. So when the school buses come up the hill, they don't have a difficult time with the children. Coming down the hill, it's easier than going up because of the sometimes the slipperiness of it. They slow down coming down the hill. Where they're going up, they have to give it everything they got. Especially some of these new buses, they're a little bit slower on the get-go. But I think one side parking would, on Brant Place from Guy Park to Major Lane would be advantageous. And everybody on that side of the street has driveways, so there'd be no real inconvenience for anybody on that side. And the houses on the other side also have driveways. So it would be, like they did over on, the school over, on top of the hill by Church Street there, with no parking on that one side. That would be, it's a safety issue. In my eyes, I see, being where I live, I see it desperately, needing to be, they're zigzagging back and forth because they're parking on both sides. I do thank the police department for, responding to the parking on sidewalks. They think my sidewalk is a parking lot. And, I'm not gonna spend another $800 on repairing more concrete. Every time, they bring the big trucks in, they're parking on sidewalk and cracking the concrete, and it's terrible. And, police department has been very helpful with me, taking care of that issue. Very pleased with that. And the other thing I have is, I'd like to request now, so we can put it on the agenda maybe for spring, that garbage pails or garbage baskets be put on Main Street and chained to light poles like they used to be with garbage pails inside. So we don't have to pick up garbage, all the time, and the owners of the property down there. They always had been there, and all of a sudden they just disappeared. They come through and put flowers up and do a beautiful job on it, and they do great work down there, and they do go through with the garbage truck, and because there is a residence above the properties there, they do pick up the garbage. So a couple, 3 garbage pails between Market Street and I don't know what, Church Street, I guess, would be, very well, taken care of, that whole area. And one on the other side by the bar over there, and one by the park would be wonderful. So we're talking 5 on that side, and a couple on the other side, by the old Pizza Hut with the fresh basil, and one down by Central Civico would be great, especially now that we're gonna have the new outdoor and indoor recreation center down there. I think, if we started with garbage pails, they'll continue picking, doing it with garbage pails. Maybe we can get somebody in the school district to explain to these folks that sidewalks are made to be walked on and roads are made to be driven on. Something that's really scaring me. I'm waiting for somebody on Bun Street to get really smushed. They're walking in the middle of the road, and they're totally ignoring, literally ignoring the cars. They're ignoring the signs, do not park from here to corner. They're jammed up there for the elementary school very badly. The police department's trying to help, but one moves and another one parks there. How many times can, they run up and down the hill? But that's all I have today, and I want to say thank you, and I hope everybody has a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Send you, and thank you. We have, Mike, I didn't call on you for the cow because we were screwed up, so you want to talk about your engineering report at this point?
Sure. As you mentioned, Mayor, Jackson Demolition will have a notice to proceed, effective, tomorrow morning. And I have a call into them. I would anticipate they will mobilize quickly. This was in from the previous meeting after Thanksgiving, the cable guy railing at Broadway Hill, that is gonna be repaired or just repaired. It's 1,200 feet of it. It's in dire need. It's otherwise it's a hazard to traffic. And again, the right-of-way clearing project for the transmission line, that I expect that'll begin shortly. I don't know that anybody in the city's necessarily gonna notice it unless you're traveling north and midline in that area, and you may see the contractor. at some point. Our lead service line replacement project, which seems to be becoming more popular as the time goes by now that people have discovered it. The base bid of the contract had 45 services in. Those have been replaced. There's still some restoration to do on those, and we had 7 alternates within the bid, which we're gonna be able to do under this contract and still stay within the grant amount of $521,000 and change. Work continues on the golf course, the cart paths at the golf course. Also, people have noticed that the rough grading has been done for the additional parking at Betts Field. Those are the highlights of anything that's new.
Any other questions for Mike, the engineer? Okay, Louise, controls report.
I think it's pretty quick. I passed out a snapshot of our revenue and expenditure activity for the first third of the fiscal year. We're 4 months in, so that represents 1/3 of our revenue and expenditures. Nothing unusual. Any questions? I'm happy to answer them.
Any questions, Controller? Okay. No business, right?
Nope.
So we're on to new business.
23-24-90, resolution adopting the minutes of the last common council meeting by Alderman Marticello. Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Deacon Buller.
Aye.
Resolution 23-24-91, resolution transferring funds, golf fund 23-24 cart repair costs by Alderman Marticello. Whereas actual golf cart repair costs for 23-24 have exceeded the amount budgeted. A budget adjustment is necessary to cover the repair costs that have been incurred to date, as well as additional repair costs that are expected to be incurred in the spring now. Resolve, the controller is authorized to transfer funds from the 23-24 fiscal year budget as follows. Decrease expense and contingency, $7,000. Increase expense equipment repair, $7,000.
So moved.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Deacon Buller.
Aye.
Resolution 23-24-92, resolution authorizing contract wastewater treatment plant gotta do contracting by Alderman Marticello. Whereas the city of Amsterdam maintains and operates a wastewater treatment plant necessary to comply with state and federal water quality regulations.
You can go down to resolve.
Resolved that the mayor is authorized to execute an agreement with Gotta Do Contracting LLC for a contract term of 3 years.
So moved.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Deacon Buller.
Aye.
We need a motion to amend.
On 93, you jumping the gun a minute.
I'm sorry?
You're talking about 93 now.
I am. Isn't that next?
Yes, you're just jumping the gun by 5 seconds.
I'd like to make a motion to,
Just let her say resolution 23-24-93.
Oh, I'm sorry, say,
That's okay. Resolution 23-24-93.
Motion to amend?
I'll make a motion to amend, increase expense, it needs to be CL.8160 instead of A.
Okay, on that amendment, Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Deacon Buller.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Would you like me to read the whole resolution? Or-
How about you just read the first paragraph?
Whereas the city garbage packer truck is temporarily inoperable due to mechanical malfunction, the repair work needed is extensive and can take many weeks to complete.
Alright, and the next one, we're gonna rent one.
Whereas the city desires to rent a garbage packer truck from the Big Truck Rental on an emergency short-term basis.
So move.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Deacon Buller.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Resolution 23-24-94, resolution authorizing the sale of River Lake Park tent by Alderman Marticello. Whereas the city owns tent previously used for events in River Lake Park has been identified as property that is no longer used or needed.
Okay, go to the resolve.
Resolved, the city is authorized to sell the tent to Supply Wagon Rentals LLC for $2,500.
So moved.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Deacon Buller.
Aye.
Resolution 2324-95, resolution waiving vacant building fees due pursuant to Amsterdam City Code, Chapter 226. This is on 139 to 145 Market Street by Mayor Cinquanti. Whereas pursuant to Amsterdam City Code, Chapter 226, vacant building fees in the amount of $2,200 show as being due and owed for the premises known as 139 to 145 Market Street. Whereas the following serves as justification and/or basis for said fees being waived by common council being demolished in December of 2022.
Building. Did you say building demolished? Or
Oh, sorry, yes, building demolished in December of 2022.
So moved.
Alderwoman Collins?
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars?
Aye.
Alderman Deaconmula?
Aye.
Resolution 2324-96, resolution waiving vacant building fees due pursuant to Amsterdam City Code, Chapter 226 on 137 Market Street by Mayor Cinquanti. Whereas pursuant to Amsterdam City Code, Chapter 226, vacant building fees in the amount of $136 show as being due and owed for the premises known as 137 Market Street. Whereas the following serves as justification and/or basis for said fees being waived by common council, building demolished in December of 2022.
So moved.
Alderwoman Collins?
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars?
Aye.
Alderman Deaconmula?
Aye.
Resolution 2324-97, resolution waiving vacant building fees due pursuant to Amsterdam City Code, Chapter 226, 256 Guy Park Avenue by Mayor Cinquanti. Whereas pursuant to Amsterdam City Code, Chapter 226, vacant building fees in the amount of $1,590 show as being due and owed for the premises known as 256 Guy Park Avenue. Whereas the following serves as justification and/or basis for said fees being waived by the common council, the dwelling is occupied and free of code violations. It is hereby resolved that the vacant building fees due pursuant to Chapter 226 of the Amsterdam City Code for the subject premises referenced here and above are hereby waived for reasons set forth here and above.
So can we table
Motion
this?
to
I
table?
would like a motion to table.
Or do we just vote it down? I mean, if we table it, that means we just have to
We'll give the other alderman the opportunity
weigh in. Okay.
to weigh in.
True, since it's only three of us.
So you're making a motion
I'm
to
making a
table?
motion to
Okay.
table, 23, 24, 27.
Okay, on that motion to table, Alderwoman Collins?
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars?
Aye.
And Alderman Deaconmula?
Aye.
Resolution 2324-98, resolution waiving vacant building fees pursuant to Amsterdam City Code, Chapter 226, 100 to 102.
I'll make a
Brookside.
motion to table this as well.
Alderwoman Quistamars?
Aye.
Alderman Deaconmula?
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins?
Aye.
Okay, table. Resolution 2324-99, resolution approving the audit by Alderwoman Collins.
So moved.
Alderwoman Collins?
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars?
Aye.
Alderman Deaconmula? Resolution 2324-100, consent resolution appointing Daniel Domkowski to the Amsterdam Industrial Development Agency Board of Directors by Mayor Cinquanti.
So moved.
Alderwoman Quistamars?
Aye.
Alderman Deaconmula?
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins?
Aye.
Resolution 2324-101, resolution appointing William Zierdson to the Amsterdam Industrial Development Agency Board of Directors by Mayor Cinquanti.
So moved.
Alderwoman Quistamars?
Aye.
Alderman Deaconmula?
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins?
Anything else?
Yes,
Yes, David.
2 things.
Okay.
You didn't mention the Christmas tree burning.
You're right, I did not.
Lighting.
Thank you,
I'm
David.
sorry.
She's very concerned.
You're absolutely right, David. It's,
Second, you told us that we were gonna get CDTA passes. Where are they?
well, not tonight, but you are going to get them. The list has been submitted and CDTA is printing up the lists, is printing up the cards.
Are we on the list?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, was that the next meeting?
We're not doing it at a meeting. It's up to them. We have to submit them with a list and you have
You'll
to,
let us know when they're in.
pardon me?
You'll let us know when they're in.
I will, I certainly will.
Okay, thank you.
What else? Oh, yeah, and we do need to mention, Friday night, right, is the tree lighting ceremony at the, other foot of the riverfront, or the pedestrian bridge as usual. It's kind of a great event. It's growing every year and we are going to have, Mohawk Valley Chorus singing carols. We're going to have various vendors there. We're going to have a horse and wagon ride. We're gonna be lighting the beautiful Christmas tree, and it's always a festive event, as long as it doesn't get too cold.
Rain or shine, Rich.
Rain or shine, or
gonna
snow or
sing again?
storm. Pardon?
Are you planning on singing again?
I don't know if I'm gonna sing or not, we'll see. But it depends upon the weather.
It's turning into a classic.
It is, I know, I'm sorry. So I'm looking forward to it, I hope to see everybody there, it'll be a nice night, it'll be a nice event. I'm gonna bring my grandson Oscar, he's coming up from Brooklyn to ride the horses, so he's excited.
How about those Giants?
The Giants, yeah, the Giants.
Also, Veterans Day, we had the parade and the Coke giveaway, which were very
It
successful
was a very
and
successful.
coordinated both by our recreation department, in some way, shape or form throughout the day, and, it was really
It
great.
was a busy day and it was a great
Busy
day.
day, and we'll have 300 more coats on Friday. And if the kids did not get them, they can come to the tree lighting. I think it was 300 was
We're
the
gonna have
number.
300 more.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was a great event as well, and, much appreciated by our city. Just a great event, both those events. And the Veterans Day, I love the salute to service, where they played the band played
yeah.
each hymn, and, I just thought that was really nice. It's growing, it's great. Great job, everybody involved with that. All right, so that's it.
I'll make a
Motion to adjourn?
motion to adjourn.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Deaconmula.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Next meeting?
First Tuesday in
Back
December.
you in. Hi, I'm Kelly. Are you the new?
Oh, I'm sorry, you have to have those CDTA cards.
Yeah,